Good morning, everyone, and thank you for coming. On behalf of Support Ontario Youth, I want to welcome everyone here today and extend our sincere thanks to Minister David Piccini and also to the Ford government for their ongoing support of all of our programs. Your commitment to Ontario's skilled trades and the apprenticeship system is not only appreciated, it is essential. Because of your leadership, we've been able to help more young people pursue meaningful careers in the trades, providing them with the training, resources, and mentorship they need to thrive. This government's continued investment in the skilled trades demonstrates a clear and unwavering belief in the importance of apprenticeship, not just as a workforce solution, but as a cornerstone of Ontario's economic future. These are the people who build our communities, support our industries, and power our progress. Together, we're not just filling jobs, we're building futures. And now, I'd like to introduce you to Noah Lebrun. He's an industrial millwright journeyperson candidate and technical mentor for Support Ontario Youth. Noah.
Good morning to everyone here in person and those who are watching online. I want to start by thanking Minister Piccini and Support Ontario Youth for giving me the opportunity to share my story and hopefully inspire the next generation of skilled workers. For those of you who know me, hey, and for those of you who don't, I'm Noah, and this is where my journey began. At the height of COVID lockdown, I made what turned out to be the best decision of my life. I dropped out of university and moved back home. Now, I know what you might be thinking. How could that possibly be a good decision? Well, as an ex-broke student in debt, I was simply looking for a better paying job. And at the time I was making minimum wage at a retail store, I knew I needed a change. Like many others during COVID, I turned to online job hunting. I must have sent out between 100 to 200 resumes and only got one callback. That was Ontario Shipyards. They welcomed me with open arms as a laborer. The job was tough, but it was rewarding. I worked hard and stayed committed, and within just 8 months, I moved up the ranks and became a labor supervisor at 21 years old. I was proud of that accomplishment, but my boss and company owner had bigger plans for my future. They told me, your talent shouldn't be wasted, and encouraged me to pick a trade. I was fortunate to be in a workplace where it offered the exposure to many skilled trades like carpentry, welding, pipe fitting, plumbing, electrical, and millwrighting. I chose a trade that would challenge me and give me the satisfaction for seeing the results in real time. That trade was an industrial millwright. Support Ontario Youth made the transition and registration process incredibly easy. All I needed was a high school transcript and a piece of photo ID. And just like that, I became an official soy apprentice. They didn't just help me with my registration, they kept me informed about my schooling and became a crucial part of my journey. Whenever I had questions about my schooling or trade or anything in between, my journeyperson mentor from soy was always knowledgeable, responsive, and truly dedicated to my success. Today, I'm a registered apprentice preparing for my Certificate of Qualification exam, and I provide the same mentor support that helped me through my apprenticeship and the next generation of young millwrights at soy. Writing my exam is the next and final step in reaching my goal of becoming a fully certified journey person, and the first step to giving back to those who have helped me get where I am. Thank you again to our speakers, supporters, and everyone listening. It's truly been a pleasure to share my story. I'd now like to introduce Sheriff Saboué, the Parliamentary Assistant to the Minister of Labour, Immigration, Training and Skills Development, the MPP for Mississauga, Erin Mills.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Noah, for the warm introduction and for that touching story about finding your own path in the skilled trades. It is a pleasure to be here at Support Ontario Youth and an honor to stand alongside Minister Piccini and my colleagues, fellow parliamentary assistant Mohammed Firin and the PA Michelle Cooper. Today is an exciting day for workers and for job seekers. The Minister will soon share some important news that reflects our government's deep commitment to skill training and workforce development. I have seen the impact of these investments firsthand, how they open doors, build confidence, and change lives. Support Ontario Youth is a great example of what's possible when we work together to empower people. Thank you for the incredible work you do, and thank you for all today's partners for your leadership. Together, we are making a real difference. Now it's my pleasure to welcome Parliamentary Assistant Mohammed Firin, my colleague. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, PA Sabawi. It's a privilege to be here with Minister Piccini, PA Sabawi, and PA Cooper, and all of you here at Support Ontario Youth. In just a few minutes, the Minister will share some exciting news that builds on our government's unwavering commitment to helping workers succeed. This program has already transformed the lives of hundreds of thousands of workers and is proof that we can accomplish when government, labor, and industry partners come together with a shared purpose. This investment is more than just dollars. It's a statement about the kind of future we want to build for Ontario. And it's on all of us to work together to ensure that every worker that wants to work across our province has access to the opportunities to build a stronger future. With that, it's my honor to introduce someone who has been leading this effort with passion and purpose. Please join me in welcoming my friend and colleague, the Honorable David Piccini, Minister of Labour, Immigration, Training and Skills Development.
Thank you. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Thank you, Mo. Thank you, Mo. It's wonderful to be here with all of you this morning. You know, I am so proud to be here with all of you. There are so many of you as I look out. Your stories have touched me deeply as a member of provincial parliament, and these stories are etched in the fabric that is our Skills Development Fund. And I'm proud to be Canadian, I'm proud to be from Ontario, and we live in uncertain times. But I can tell you one thing, through our Skills Development Fund, we're protecting Ontario workers because there is nothing we can't accomplish here in Ontario. And when you unleash the potential, when you partner with all of the partners, too many of you to mention here today, but when we partner with all of you, there's no stopping us. We are such a strong province, and I'm proud to work alongside Premier Ford, who through the Skills Development Fund is unleashing the potential that is Ontario. I want to say a special thank you to parliamentary assistants whom I work so closely with each and every day. Their stories, their advocacy has helped shape this fund. PA Sabawi, PA Firin, thank you for your leadership. To PA Cooper, a new MPP who's been such a strong advocate for Eglinton, for this city, and for voices from all walks of life. Thank you for your leadership, Michelle. To our Executive Director of Support Ontario Youth, Melanie Winter. Melanie is always putting the stories of young apprentices first. And she's been to my own community, and I never begrudge anyone who's willing to come out to Cobourg, Port Hope, and Northumberland, Peterborough South. Thank you for your leadership. Noah, this story, I mean, this is why we're all here. If that doesn't inspire you, what does? It was so nice to hear your story, Noah. Thank you for sharing it with everyone here today. Beatrice, President of Ontario Electrical League, and the team that are here today. Guled, President of Unite here, Local 75, a good friend standing here behind me. Tyler Downey, Vice President of SEIU, who was just also down in Cobourg the other day. You know, thank you. These are the partners we're working with. Tim Lang, President and CEO of Youth Employment Services. Tim had a powerful day at Queen's Park where he brought stories to the Queen's Park floor for all parties to hear. And I want to thank everyone who's standing behind me and everyone who's standing in front of me. Too many to mention. I won't go into that. I'll get in trouble. But I see all of you. You're seen, you're heard, and thank you for your partnership.
Since 2021, our government, under the leadership of Premier Ford and with the support of incredible labor leaders, employers, colleges, folks from all walks of life, have helped connect more than 500,000 job seekers with the training opportunities to start or grow successful careers through our $2.5 billion Skills Development Fund. And today we're building on the momentum of the last 4 years to ensure that workers and job seekers across the province have better training for better jobs with bigger paychecks. And we need that now more than ever before. We know we're at a critical point in our province's history, dare I say in our country's history. President Trump's tariffs are a direct attack on our country, on our province, on our hard men and women in so many critical sectors of our economy. And they're impacting our vital industries. This is an unprecedented time that requires a real collaborative approach. I've often referred to it as a three-legged stool when government, labor leaders, unions, and employers come together to meet the moment with leadership and with real resolve to nation build. You know, I've often reflected on my own family history, no different than so many of you, a generation that immigrated here to build a proud country we call Canada. And today, if there's one silver lining, have we ever heard our anthem sung as proud as we hear it today? Have we ever seen all political stripes, all premiers, a prime minister come together to nation build? That's our priority today. We have to come together to advance nation-building initiatives to protect Ontario and to protect Canada. Canada needs to lead the G7 in the ways that we can get it done. That means stepping up to invest in programs that will train workers, to equip them with the necessary skills to build our province, to build our nation, whether it's pipelines, whether it's building homes, whether it's tunneling, whether it's building new subways. We have all the skill to do that right here in Ontario. Under Premier Ford's leadership, we have an ambitious $200 billion plan to build up our province. And this plan requires a strong, highly skilled workforce to build the energy infrastructure, pipelines, highways, roads, bridges, tunnels, and factories I mentioned. It means heavy industrial construction, shipyards and docks to keep goods moving. You heard Noah's story from Ontario Shipyards. What an incredible Ontario family story. That's why we are so focused on initiatives like our Skills Development Fund. We're building a world-class workforce that will withstand any economic challenge that comes our way. And the foundation of this is the relationship we have with training delivery leaders like the ones in this room and the workers they support. Today, we have some exciting projects to highlight from Round 5 of our Skills Development Fund. We're announcing over $20 million through this round to train 4,825 workers and job seekers through 7 priorities for careers in the skilled trades: hospitality, artificial intelligence in healthcare, support Ontario youth, Canadian manufacturers and exporters, Unite Here Local 75, Finishing Trades, Institute of Ontario, Ontario Electrical League, Workers First Technologies, and Youth Employment Services. From skilled trades to manufacturing, healthcare to long-term care, this is what we need to do in Ontario, and these initiatives projects will help workers and job seekers gain the skills they need. And I look forward to all that the participants will contribute to our province's shared future. With that said, today we're also making another exciting announcement, another major milestone in our Skills Development Fund. We are launching Round 6 of the training stream with $260 million investment to protect Ontario workers from the threats of U.S. tariffs, to train them for meaningful, well-paying careers while keeping Ontario competitive in the face of global economic uncertainty. This is part of our $2.5 billion Skills Development Fund, an additional $1 billion Premier Ford and our government campaigned on in the recent election. Ontario workers are our past, they're our present, and they're our future. And our economy, our communities, and our province cannot succeed if our workers don't succeed. The Premier and the government will stop at nothing to protect our workers. So together with our labor partners, we're doing what it takes to make sure workers are the highly skilled workforce of tomorrow and that they have the opportunity to benefit from better training for better jobs with bigger paychecks. Applications for Round 6 are now open until October 1st. So I encourage employers, employment service and training providers, labor unions, colleges, community organizations that have innovative training projects to step forward to meet the moment with us. I've heard so many inspiring success stories from previous rounds, like the one we heard today. And I know that this fund is making a real difference in the lives of Ontario workers. This next round of funding is another tool in our fight to protect Ontario. Team Ontario, Team Canada is built on the backs of our workers, and at a time of global economic certainty, we're coming together to train that next generation, because nothing can stop Ontario, and there's nothing we can't achieve when we work together. So thank you for making our 6th round of Skills Development Fund the best round it's ever been. Thank you for challenging us, for working with us to train Ontario workers for the jobs of tomorrow. And thank you all for being here with us today to kick off this milestone. Thanks, everyone.
We will now take questions from the media. Please state your name and outlet. The format will be 1 question, 1 follow-up. First question.
Hi there, it's Lorenda from
Hi,
CBC
Lorenda.
News. Hi. Wanted to start on another topic on bringing in more economic immigrants and the province having more control. This is at a time we've seen the unemployment rate go up. Can you talk a little bit about, what types of workers you're looking to bring in, and why you think this is necessary when we have the Ontario Immigrant Nominee Program already?
Well, I would say that first and foremost, today's announcement is about training our next generation of workers. You heard Noah's story. You heard the 4,000 plus youth that will benefit from today's announcement. So I think you can walk and chew gum at the same time. I think we're always going to be a country that has been welcoming of immigrants, as the grandson of one, and standing in front of many who like my own family history, has come through immigration. I've called on the federal government to give more autonomy to Ontario so that we can select more economic immigrants. You see, we've had a shift over the past number of years, a shift from high human capital to lower human capital, and we're calling on the federal government to work with us, to work with the provinces, to support us in driving an immigration program that works. Because for us to continue to be a leader, and for Canada to continue to being the welcoming country it is, we have to have the capacity to support those immigrants, point number 1. And point number 2, you have to have a system with integrity. And that's what Premier and I spoke to a bit yesterday, and that's what we'll continue to advocate for, working with the federal government.
Can you point to examples of where you're seeing that it's not working?
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
What areas is it that you want to be bringing in more workers?
So first and foremost, I'd like to see, and we've advocated for a shift to an increased number of private sponsors. When you look to some of how we've stood up on the world stage when Syrian refugees came in, privately sponsored immigrants did so well in Cobourg, in my own community. And we've seen a shift towards government sponsored. So we've asked them to leverage our community, the people I see in this room, to come and support. We've talked about asylum. We spend $1.2 billion to support asylum seekers, and we've had no support from the federal government. It takes over a year for an asylum seeker to be processed. Nearly 140,000 asylum claimants in Ontario are waiting for a decision, and last year alone, we had 90,000 asylum claims, more than all Canada processed combined. We know there's challenges when we can't get the most basic data, language skills. How many of our stakeholders here does it fall on them to navigate those language skills, to understand their employment skills, to understand the acuities of needs they're coming with? It's fallen on all our organizations, and we're just saying we want support. That means increasing labor transfer market agreement supports. That means increasing settlement supports, because we know that when people have the job and the dignity that comes with it, there's no stopping our incredible potential here in Ontario.
Could you point to, I know I'm going over my questions, but if you could just point to, what's the number one industry where, yes, you want to bring in immigrants as workers?
Well, I would just point with something Premier and I have spoken about. There are temporary residents here in Ontario today, so I'm not advocating for increase in temporary residents in Ontario. If anything, we're calling for a reduction. What we're advocating for is processing those who are here, How many of us have hopped in an Uber to hear that they have healthcare skills? So you ask for an industry, healthcare. I sat down with the Filipino community the other day who are navigating challenging realities with expiring work permits for PSWs, for nurses who are literally in our healthcare hospitals today. And what we're saying is, we need the support to move on that for those who are already here. So I think that's an important distinction that I think merits mentioning.
Hi, Minister. Jack Howan from the Trillium. How are you?
Thank you. Good. How are you?
Good. Doing pretty well.
Always good to see the Trillium.
Yeah, isn't it? You're allowing the province to bypass municipalities on training centers funded by the STF. We've asked your ministry for a full list of what has been funded under the STF, but they haven't given it to us. We know that this move to bypass municipalities could potentially benefit a lot of your party's donors. Is there something to hide here, or will you commit to giving us a full list of STF projects in all streams?
Yeah, we've made public announcements around all of our SDF funds and have published lists that are public in the past. I'll get you our most recent lists. I think when we start to look at it there, you really lower the public discourse when you make accusations like that. Right behind you is Victoria, You've made accusations about them, and they're training immigrant workers for jobs in construction. Right behind me is Ty Downey from SEIU. Yeah, it's a union. And guess what? Through his investments in Skills Development Fund, Ty is helping reduce the dependency on agencies, something you have criticized government for doing. So we're working with them to reduce our dependency on agency staff. Tim brought youth through Youth Employment Services to Queen's Park, where we had NDP, Liberals, all come together. And I've passed bills that have had a historic bipartisanship support. So please, don't denigrate everybody here who we work hard, whether it's Unite here, again, come to a graduation. I invite the Trillium. Join me for a graduation at Unite here to see the next generation of workers we're empowering through Skills Development Fund. And yes, if I have to bypass the Planning Act or some municipal approvals, I've spoken to Robin Jones, I've spoken to AMO. They agree we've got to build training centers faster because we can't wait when it comes to building hospitals. We got 52 projects under construction. I want Campbellford done in my community in my lifetime. And we've normalized the 15-year build cycle. So yes, I'm moving faster to build those training centers. I don't apologize for it. And behind you are all the stakeholders who are benefiting from it.
Thanks for the commitment, Minister. We'll wait for that information. I just wanted to follow up on Lorenda's point. The gentleman next to you, I forget your name, Noah?
Yes.
He was talking about sending out hundreds of resumes, only getting one back. He's not alone, certainly. Youth unemployment is sky high. There are lines around the block for minimum wage postings. Isn't that a sign that we need less economic immigration, not more?
Well, I've said Ontario has called for a reduction in temporary residence in Ontario, and we've called for autonomy in the program we do have to nominate those who are here to find the dignity of a job and a permanency in their status here. When we do have record youth unemployment, and that is something that we're committed to working with our partners to tackle. It's across Canada. We've seen challenges. We're not immune from global economic certainty, from those headwinds. But what we can do is we can work at creating pillars. And, for so long, youth have been told that the only future for them is through formal education, through perhaps university, colleges, but there's more than that. You can go to a union training hall and you can get trained for a meaningful career. You can start an apprenticeship with an employer sponsor in Ontario. You can do what Noah's done to be on the forefront. I mean, we've talked about defending this great country, meeting our NATO commitments. This guy's working, he mentioned Ontario shipyards and the incredible work they're doing in the north. There's more than just Davies, we've got Ontario shipyards in Ontario, and we're building an incredible fleet. And so we need, men and women in the skilled trades. The incredible precision welding, some of the work that's being done there is remarkable. And through our Skills Development Fund, we're supporting meaningful apprenticeships to land a better job with a bigger paycheck and help youth break out of that cycle and into a job.
Let me ask one more. There's no one else here. I just wanted you to clarify, both today and yesterday, you used that word integrity. You want a system with integrity, comparing what the feds are doing with immigration versus now, but what you want. Can you explain what you mean?
Yeah, I think a system with integrity is able to work with our provinces to actually convey the data requests that we've had since 2022, 2023. So a system with integrity is able to tell us the acuities of needs, is able to tell us from what country said person has arrived from, what are the needs that are associated, what are those language proficiencies, so that we can match our training partners, our settlement agencies to meet that need. We're able to better, honestly, I think something, and this is not partisan, but credentialing. You know, we can better credential as well, but it starts with knowing that credentialing, something we've asked for. It also, comes with understanding what happens when the Immigration and Refugee Board adjudicates a decision that is not an asylum claimant. Because a system with integrity says to someone who comes pursuant to our charter obligations, if you are fleeing and coming with a need, a system with integrity protects that need, but also has to do something on those that's adjudicated that are not a valid asylum claim. And we've asked for information on what has happened to all of those who've had their decisions denied by the IRB, and we can't get that most basic data. So we do want to work closer with the federal government to understand that, so that we, Ontario, as I said, Ontario and Quebec, this is a unique challenge on the asylum front, not felt by other provinces. And for me, a system with integrity also understands criminal backgrounds of newcomers that are coming in, something we haven't seen from the federal government as well. These are some basic tenets of a system that we are committed to working with the federal government to improve.
That concludes today's press conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you.